Who does this guy think he is? Why is he standing here?
I am Sheriff Derrick Lawson. I will now be supervising this department.
Wait, you're the new sheriff?
Before this story begins, picture this. 2 corrupt officers in a bustling courthouse are smugly celebrating. They think they're untouchable. They laugh about their past misdeeds. They've never imagined that their new commanding officer, walking into the courtroom today, is a black man who will change everything. Now watch how pride turns to panic, and justice is served instantly. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment where you're watching from. It was a bright Wednesday morning in Riverton County, a place where the courthouse gleamed in polished stone and the lawns were perfectly trimmed. People hurried in and out. Lawyers rushed with thick folders, and the air smelled faintly of coffee and paper. 2 white officers, Officer Mike Harris and Officer Todd Riley, strutted into the courthouse lobby, high-fiving each other. Both were known for cutting corners, bending rules, and looking the other way when the right people asked. "Another quiet day for us, huh?" Mike said, smirking. Todd chuckled. "Yeah, last week's citation scam went smooth. Nobody saw a thing." They stopped at the front desk, flashing fake smiles at the receptionist. "Morning, Ms. Lacey," Todd said, nodding. Meanwhile, a man entered the courthouse with calm authority. Derrick Lawson, mid-40s, dressed in a perfectly tailored navy suit, walked with confidence. His skin was dark, his posture regal. He carried a leather briefcase in one hand, his judicial badge clipped to his belt. Mike and Todd didn't notice him. They were too busy whispering about how little they thought they could be caught for past misdeeds. "Finally," Mike said, "feels good to have power in our hands." "Yeah, nobody checks us," Todd added, laughing. The pair was in high spirits, unaware that today's courtroom session would mark the beginning of their downfall. Mike and Todd entered courtroom 3, where a routine case was being processed. They leaned back in their chairs, whispering to each other. "Remember the Johnson case last month?" Todd whispered. "We totally ignored the parking violations. Free money for the county." Mike laughed. "I still can't believe we got away with it." The judge, Judge Eleanor White, was presiding over the case. She was stern, older, and respected by everyone. The officers barely paid attention, assuming their past acts would never be exposed. A few minutes later, Derrick Lawson walked into the courtroom quietly, without announcing himself. He carried an air of authority so strong that even the whispers of lawyers paused mid-sentence. Mike and Todd barely noticed. They were too busy exchanging jokes about their supposed untouchable status. "Imagine if someone actually knew what we did," Mike said. Todd shrugged. "Nobody's watching. We're invisible." Derrick took a seat in the corner, observing. He didn't speak yet. His calm eyes scanned every person, noting behavior, body language, and attitude. At first, the officers thought he was just another clerk or an assistant. They had no idea he was the new sheriff of the department, the one who would oversee all police activity in the county, including their own. A court clerk walked in, carrying a stack of files. She cleared her throat. "Attention, everyone," she said. "We have a new sheriff in Riverton County, Sheriff Derrick Lawson. He will now be supervising all courthouse law enforcement personnel." Mike and Todd froze. "Wait, what?" Mike whispered. Todd's jaw dropped. "The new sheriff is he?" Derrick slowly stood. He looked directly at the 2 officers. Calm, confident. Every step he took radiated authority. "Good morning, Officers Harris and Riley," he said in a firm but polite voice. "I look forward to working with you." Mike stammered. Yes, sir. Welcome, sir." Todd nodded rapidly, unable to form words. The courtroom seemed to hold its breath. Other officers and courthouse staff exchanged glances, sensing the tension. Derrick's gaze lingered on Mike and Todd for a moment. It was not angry, but it was measured, sharp, and all-seeing. The 2 officers realized they were cornered. Mike whispered, He knows everything we did." Todd shook his head. "No way, he can't. We covered it all." Derrick pulled out a tablet. Swiping through internal reports, names, dates, and infractions flashed across the screen. Every corrupt act, every ignored violation, every falsified report was listed in neat, undeniable detail. "Looks like you two have been very busy," Derrick said calmly, "and I've just been catching up." Mike gulped. We didn't." "Save it," Derrick interrupted. "From this point forward, I expect honesty, professionalism, and accountability. Any deviation will be handled swiftly and publicly." The officers realized their reputation, their careers, and their freedom were all at stake. Over the next few hours, Derrick quietly supervised the courthouse security. He monitored the officers closely, noting every corner they cut, every rule they bent, and every word they said. By the end of the day, disciplinary reports were drafted. Misconduct from months prior, previously invisible to the department, was now documented in detail. Mike and Todd tried to smile, pretending nothing had changed. But every glance at Derrick reminded them how powerless they truly were. Courthouse staff whispered, "Finally, someone is watching them." Citizens waiting outside the courtroom could feel the tension radiating from the officers. Derrick didn't yell. He didn't humiliate them publicly. But his presence alone was enough to unnerve them completely. Weeks later, Mike and Todd were called into Derrick's office. "Your past behavior will not be tolerated," Derrick said, handing down written reprimands. "You now work under strict supervision. Every action will be reviewed." The officers nodded silently. They had no excuses. Their smirks were gone, their laughter replaced by fear. As Derrick walked out of the office, staff members whispered, "That's how you lead with integrity. That's justice." Mike and Todd had learned a lesson they would never forget. Power is temporary, corruption is visible, and sometimes the person you least expect becomes your judge, jury, and boss. From that day forward, Riverton County's courthouse officers knew accountability was real, and that justice can arrive in the most unexpected way. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this story, hit like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss a new upload. Tell me where you're watching from in the comments. I love seeing people from all over the world supporting the channel. And don't forget to share this video with anyone who loves justice, accountability, and powerful, real-life inspired stories. Stay aware, stay strong, and I'll see you in the next one.